Our reading tonight is from the Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 9, starting at verse 18. While Jesus was saying these things to them, suddenly a leader of the synagogue came in and knelt before him, saying, "My daughter has just died, but come and lay your hand on her, and she will live." And Jesus got up and followed him with his disciples. Then suddenly a woman who had been suffering from hemorrhages for 12 years came up behind him and touched the fringe of his cloak. For she said to herself, "If only I touch his cloak, I will be made well." Jesus turned, and seeing her, he said, "Take heart, daughter. Your faith has made you well." When Jesus came to the leader's house and saw the flute players and the crowd making a commotion, he said, "Go away, for the girl is not dead, but sleeping." And they laughed at him. But when the crowd had been put outside, he went in and took her by the hand, and the girl got up. And the report of this spread throughout that district. This is the word of the Lord.
I don't remember anything.
I wish I didn't remember. I remember it all too well.
I'm only 12 years old.
12 long years.
I mean, I remember things that happened before, helping my mother make bread, going to the well with her to get water.
12 years of being unable to touch my own children, my own husband. 12 years unable to do something as simple as go to the well for water. I was an outcast.
And I guess I remember the day I got sick. I felt a little funny after dinner, that's all. A little funny. And then they tell me I fell into a deep sleep, and they couldn't wake me.
I remember the day it started, my affliction. I didn't know what it was. I only knew it was wrong, the wrong time of the month. And then, when it didn't stop, the look on my friends' faces, the women who used to be my friends, it was as if they feared they would catch it from me. Everyone vanished.
Everything vanished. Everything I know, they had to tell me later. My parents didn't know what it was, some kind of sleeping sickness. They made my sisters and brothers go away to my grandmother's house so they wouldn't catch it from me.
I went to the temple. I went to the priests.
They called in a physician. They called in a woman who was known as a healer.
And then all I could do was pray.
Then they just prayed.
Turn, O Lord, and save my life. Deliver me for the sake of your steadfast love. In the land of the dead, who can praise you? And then I waited. 12 long years.
I'm only 12 years old.
And then I heard the news.
And then they heard the news.
There was a healer.
His
name was Jesus. I heard he was passing through our village.
They tell me he was already surrounded by crowds.
It would be nearly impossible to get close to him.
But my father had to go and try, even though they tell me I was already dead.
I wrapped my cloak around me and slipped out the door. So much life out there.
When my father saw him, he did something he had never done.
The streets were crowded with people, so many people, and I had been alone for so long. It made my head spin.
He fell to his knees, my father, a leader in the congregation. He begged, "My daughter has just died, but come and lay hands on her, and she will live."
If only I could lay my hands on him, even the hem of his robe. I knew I could live again.
So he came. Jesus came, just like that, into our house past the crowds of people already wailing my funeral songs.
And I saw him, and the crowds of people all around, and I thought, I must get to him. I must get past these throngs.
And he touched me. He took me by the hand.
I touched him. Well, not him, but his robe. I touched it with my hand. And he spoke.
"Little one, rise up."
"Daughter, your faith has made you well."
And I was well. I was alive.
I had my life back.
It was
like nothing I'd ever felt before.
My parents were crying.
My husband and children were laughing. To be alive again.
Out of the darkness.
Out in the sunlight, alive again. Thanks be to God.